Hello, it's Kathy Cassidy and I'm back again to read you chapter 9 from my book Love from Lexie. I hope you're enjoying it so far and I hope you're doing okay in lockdown and maybe enjoying some sunny weather as we are today. It's kind of cold here but also sunny, which is very cool. It means you can get out into the garden a little bit or get out for your exercise walk, whatever it is. So I'm going to get straight on and read you chapter 9, and as usual, the first thing that we do is have a look at whatever the filler is between each chapter, and this time that's what it is. Hope you can see that. And it's Lexie's list of what she wants the Lost and Found band to be, or the questions that the other members of the band are asking. So she's made a list to try and help them work out what they want to actually be. So point 1. What kind of sound do we want? Punk, rock, rap, pop, indie, reggae, folk, jazz, funk, soul, R&B? Point 2. Make a list of songs to learn and play. Point 3. What kind of look do we want? Point 4. Discuss logo. Point 5. Do we need a manager? Maybe Jake. Point 6. Social media. And lastly, aim towards a gig at some point. School summer fete, school open evening maybe. So that's Lexie's list, and if you remember from last time, Marley has invited her to a special meeting so the two of them can kind of discuss what the band is going to be like and how they're going to go about this. So hopefully that list will help her steer her way through that conversation, because she's kind of a little bit nervous about it. She's not sure if it's a date or not. So chapter 9 is called The Leaping Llama, and there is a picture of a mug of hot chocolate with a load of cream on it, which sounds like a really nice idea right now. I don't know if you were able to get that last time you were at the supermarket, but could go down quite well while listening. So, The Leaping Llama. The Leaping Llama Cafe is one of those painfully hipster places where the barista has a beard the size of a small koala bear and skinny jeans with turn-ups that end 3 inches above his bare ankles. I think they probably vet people at the door to make sure they're cool enough to enter. And because I'm with Marley, I have somehow been allowed to slip through the net. It must be that, unless my outsized black school sweater, grey woolly tights and red bobble hat are hipster enough to pass the test. We sit in a corner booth, sipping hot chocolate, Marley's guitar propped up on the seat beside him. His blue eyes blaze with enthusiasm as he talks about the band, and I'm transfixed. We have to get this sorted before Thursday, he's saying. The others will be looking to us for direction. There's such a buzz going around the school about it all. Let's see if we can keep it going. Any thoughts? I push my notebook across the table towards him and he frowns. What kind of sound? He reads aloud. Well, indie, I think, with overtones of folk and jazz because of the violins, the cello and the trumpet. We will find our own sound, don't worry, and as for shortlisting songs to learn, we don't want to go down that track, surely. Playing covers of other people's songs? I put my mug of hot chocolate down. So we have original songs already? Well, kind of. Marley unzips his guitar case and starts to strum, without any awkwardness at all. His fingers pick expertly at the strings, and a sweet kaleidoscope of sound curls around us, dredging unnamed feelings to the surface, telling a story of unexpected sadness and joy. The koala-beard barista stops serving to lean on the counter and listen, and the people in the coffee queue turn to face us as the music reaches a crescendo and dies away at last. The staff and customers of the Leaping Llama give Marley a round of applause, with a few whistles and whoops thrown in for good measure. Awesome, I say. I mean, just wow. Did you write that? Marley shrugs. Sounds a lot better with an amp and some backing, but yeah, music I don't have a problem with. It's the words I can't do. I know what I want to say, it's just not my skill. Finding the words to express it all. And obviously a song needs both elements. So I was wondering, you're good at words, right? I blink. Me? Words? Marley frowns. I've seen you around, he says, waiting outside the hall after school for Happy to finish orchestra practice. Reading. In the park in the summer with Bex in the sunshine. Reading. On the bus to town. Reading. Always reading, so you must be good with words. Stands to reason. Well, reading them is not the same as writing them, I point out. You're good at writing them too, though, he tells me. I remember. I was in year 6 when you joined my primary school, and you were in year 5 in Dylan's class, remember? It was almost the end of the school year, and the whole of the junior school put on a special assembly for the year 6 leavers. Year 5 had rehearsed a play, year 4 had learned some songs, but you turned up too late in the term to do any of that. I nod, remembering. We could get you to read out a poem instead, the teacher had said to me. Would you like that, Lexie? So I'd gone away and written a poem about leaving, moving on, and how it was happy and sad at the same time. When I'd shown it to the teacher the next day, she told me it was perfect and asked me where I'd found it. And when I told her I'd written it myself, she got all misty-eyed for a minute. It turned out she'd meant me to read a poem out of a book, but she said that this one was much better. I'd stood on stage and tried not to be scared and read my poem, and it seemed that Marley had been listening. I loved that poem, he says now, and when the teacher told us you'd written it, I was dead envious. Like I said, words aren't my thing, but they are yours. I've had my eye on you for a while, Lexie Lawler. I'm kind of speechless. Marley Hayes knows who I am, knew who I was all this time. The information clatters through my brain like the ticker tape updates of breaking news you get on TV when something cataclysmic has happened. I'm incapable of thinking of anything else. Gorgeous boy with cute fringe and dangerous eyes notices quiet book geek and accidentally invents band with her. I feel dizzy at the very idea. You're staring, Marley says with a grin. Don't get me wrong, I quite like being stared at, but it's a little bit unnerving. Have I got cake crumbs in my fringe or something? No, I say, no cake crumbs, sorry. I gaze at the tabletop instead, wondering why I've suddenly lost the ability to act like a normal human being. So, will you have a go, Marley is saying, at writing some lyrics for the song? What with you being brilliant with words, like I said? I'm not, though, I argue. I can't write lyrics. I've never done anything like that before. A song's not just about words, is it? Or even music. There's a lot more to it than that. Marley nods and his blue eyes laugh as they hook onto mine. Obviously, he agrees, and that's why I'm asking you. You're clever. You're sensitive. You get all of that. A song is much more than words and music. A song is like all these mad, raw feelings squashed into just 3 or 4 minutes of music. It's, I don't know, love and death and hate and fear and joy and glory and shame. Everything. It makes you think, makes you understand stuff. A good song worms its way into your soul and becomes like a part of you. I thought you were rubbish at words, I say. I've tried, Lexie, he tells me. I know what I want to say, but I just can't say it. I express myself best in music, not words. But you could have a try, maybe. Just have a go. We need lyrics by Thursday. Thursday? But today's Tuesday. That's less than 48 hours to turn a piece of music into a song. From scratch. Have you got the sheet music for this? Anything written down? Marley frowns. I'm not big on writing down the chords, he says. I just sort of hear it in my head and make it happen and then record it on GarageBand. Keep it simple, right? But this is a million miles from simple. I am way, way out of my depth. I can't, Marley, I argue. I've never written a song before. I just wouldn't know where to start. He rakes a hand through his hair. Start where I always do, he suggests. Hook onto a feeling. Something big. Let it swamp you. Let it wash right over you, soak you through. And then ride the wave. That's what I do. I'm gazing at Marley as if I have lost my mind, and maybe I actually have. My eyes are glazed and my mouth is slightly open, and I know I must look stunned and adoring and possibly slightly unhinged, but Marley's probably used to that. I mean, it's not just that he looks gorgeous, he's clever and creative and crazily talented, and he wants to work with me. Somehow he makes it all seem possible. Songwriting, the band, life. Do you know what I mean? He nudges me and I snap out of my trance. You don't need cheap music or rules or worries about whether you've done it before. Keep it free, feelings, right? I blink. Yeah, I say, miraculously recovering the power of speech. Feelings, got it. You live with Bex Murray, right? He says gently. And Bex is in foster, so I'm guessing that you might be too. I remember you, Lexie, and not just for that poem. You were all sad back then, but you're not like that now. You're smart, sassy, sparky, but there's still something about you. Something hidden, something deep. I want to argue. Say that everyone has something sad or difficult to carry, stuff they don't talk about. But I'm silent. I can feel my heart beating hard. All this time I thought I'd been invisible, but Marley could see me. Marley believes in me. Give me your email and social media links, he says, holding out the phone. I'll send you a GarageBand link later. It's only rough, obviously. I'm imagining violin and keyboards and a gentle drum beat and vocal harmonies, obviously. Can you see it? I'm like a rabbit in the headlights. I can't see anything but Marley's blue eyes, blazing with fire and energy, but I'm not about to admit that. Yes, I can see it, I bluff. Awesome. Marley grins. We'll make a great team, Lexie, he says. You're on my wavelength. You understand me. I have a vision for this band, and you can see it too. How cool is that? Cool, I say. Seriously cool. I'm relying on you to help me do this, he says. I mean, 11 people. It's not going to be easy to pull everyone together and get the best from them all. But I totally love that you can see their potential and that you want to include everyone. The koala beard barista is wiping tables now and stacking chairs around us, and Marley takes the hint and packs up his guitar. You came up with the best ever name for the band, he says as we mooch out of the door. The Lost and Found. It's great, perfect. We've all felt lost at some point, right? Every single teenager in the world can relate. Genius. He looks at me, blue eyes hooked onto mine, that fringe falling messily over his face, and I know that I am hopelessly lost, so lost I may never find myself again. I don't even care. So that is the end of chapter 9, and there is a little bit of romance in the air maybe, with Lexie and Marley, or at least on Lexie's side. We'll have to see how that pans out. So I will be back tomorrow with chapter 10 for you, but meanwhile just keep smiling if you can, and yeah, keep listening. A little bit of escapism, jumping into a story with Lexie and her friends can actually make the time pass a little bit faster on lockdown, and we will get through this, I promise. Take care. See you tomorrow.